So if you have yoga blocks and a strap or a band, those might help you out today. And we're gonna do a little bit, we're gonna start with a little bit of heart opening. We're gonna start in supported fish in a moment. So if you do not have blocks, a pillow might be nice too. So you just really wanna open the chest, breathe into the heart, release tension from the neck and the shoulders. So that's the plan. So if there's anything you need to gather now. If there's music you want to play, get that queued up, and then we're going to start on the mat. All right. So, how nice will it be to lay down? So, I have a pillow like this, which would work. Obviously, a yoga bolster would work as well, or yoga blocks, or you could do it without anything. I'll show you what it looks like. You would bring, if you have a long pillow, you would sort of lay your spine along it and open the heart. So it's this extension of the top part of the spine that we're looking for. And what that looks like with blocks is a little different. We take the flat, low setting of the block and place that long edge parallel to the bottom of the shoulder blade. So we can arch over and not arch in the low back. And then use that second block to prop up the skull here. If none of this works, you could just lay on your mat with the soles of your feet together and your palms up in sort of a goalpost and just try to call yourself into the moment here. So our practice today, our focus is going to be gratitude. I feel like is a lovely way to start the week of bringing our attention to all the things that we are appreciative of. So stay here for a few breaths with your eyes closed. And without forcing breath, make it purposeful. So let the breath serve you. Make sure it draws down deep to your belly and that the inhalation opens places that are tight. And that the exhalation has a sort of releasing, cleansing quality to it. Whatever shape you're in, notice where you can be heavy and relaxed. I'd especially like to draw your attention to your tailbone. Make sure your tailbone feels heavy. And that you can just allow the fronts of the hips to soften and relax a bit. And then think of creating all this space across your collarbones, stretching the chest muscles, which tend to get tight. And feel a lot of softness and folding in the back body of the shoulders. Feel long in the back of the neck, weighty in the skull, heavy there. And take 3 more rounds of breath, trying to relax the face, jaw, throat, and eyes. And while we're here in stillness, maybe just call something or someone to mind that you are particularly grateful for this morning. And just send them a little light and love. Imagine your smiling face shining, radiating love and gratitude. Take one more big breath here. And then we'll slowly come out of this. You really want to protect the cervical spine as well as the rest of the spine as you come up to a seat. So sit comfortably. You can sit up on something if you wish, whatever helps your spine to feel long. We're going to breathe the arms outside of the hips and just roll the shoulders back and down. And on our next inhalation, we'll breathe that left arm up in space, setting it in the socket. And with tented fingers, we'll side bend over to the left. Stay here for a breath. Really set the arm and the shoulder and expand through the rib cage. And then turn your gaze down toward the hand on the floor and just notice how the neck feels. Turn the head back and up toward the hands that's reaching into the side bend, and then look straight forward and rise. Softening that arm down. Inhale, breathe up through the left arm. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Inhale, turn the gaze down at the hand on the mat. Just let the shoulder continue to fall away from the ear. Inhale, turn the gaze up toward the ceiling. Notice how your neck feels this morning. And then exhale to come up. Inhale, breathe the arms up, clasping the fingers together. And then exhale, press the palms forward in front of the chest. And allow the chin to drape down toward the chest. And really place some air in the back of the shoulders. You're going to push the palms forward and press the heart shining backwards through those shoulder blades. You can round the spine as much as feels good for you, and then gently release. Take the hands to the knees or the thighs. Inhale, roll the shoulders down, lift the heart, let the tail tip away from the body and bring the gaze up. Big breath here and a little bit of spinal extension. And then gently release. If you have a block or something you can squeeze between your knees, grab it. We're going to place it the long way between the thighs, like so. So it looks like this. And we'll roll to the back. Take your time. We're going to set up for bridge here. So on your next inhale, let your low back round in toward the mat. Press your feet into the ground and squeeze it on that block as you come up to bridge. If you need to reorganize the block, make sure it feels comfortable for you. Please do. Stay here in bridge, squeezing the gluteal muscles up. And maybe turn the palms up for the ceiling and draw the shoulders to the spine so that you can come up a little bit higher. On your next breath in, float your right heel up off the mat. Inhale here. Exhale to switch, bringing the left heel up. Inhale to switch, drop the left heel, lift the right. Try not to let anything else move. You're just rolling through the ankles. Linking breath to movement, inhaling here. Exhaling, so we're warming up the legs, the feet, the ankles, the abdominals. See if you can hug your belly in. Just 2 more times. 1 more time to each side. Breathe through it. And then place both heels down and slowly roll down through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Really taking your time, trying to find roundness and elongation in the back. All the way down. Beautiful. Now we'll tuck the tail under once more, finding our imprinted pelvis, and draw the legs up to tabletop. Flex through those heels and reach the arms right above the chest. So stay here and hold the hip shape from the belly. Inhale, reach your fingertips for the ceiling. And then exhale, draw the shoulders toward the spine. Feel them widen on the mat. Inhale, lift up, and keep the legs really alive. Press through those heels. Exhale, place the shoulders down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, place the shoulders down. Now keep the hands right here. Imagine that they're connected with some magnetism or some elastic energy. On the inhale, you're going to start to lower the heels away from you toward the mat, but not letting the back arch. Exhale, with control, pull the legs back up to that start position. Good, inhale, open at the hip, lower the heels together. Exhale, pull back up. A few more times, inhale to reach away. Keep the legs super active. The arms are feeling effort as well. Last 2, inhaling away. Exhale to draw up. Create a little warmth in the belly to start. One more time. Inhale here. Exhale up. Now we'll bring the hands down, out from the shoulders like a letter T. Little spinal rotation. So inhale, squeeze that block. Exhale, let the knees come to the right. You may be able to bring them all the way to the mat. You may not. It's going to depend on whether or not that opposite side shoulder lifts. Good. So wherever you are, stay for a breath. And then exhale, hug the navel to the spine to draw the legs back up to the ceiling. Inhale here, squeeze that block. Exhale, move with control from your center over to the left, anchoring that right side. Inhale, stay. Exhale, hug the belly into the spine and float your way back to tabletop. One more time to each side. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. And you might be here, which means your abs are working a little more than coming all the way to the mat. Inhale, stay. Exhale, again, hollowing out your belly to return. Last time, inhale here. Exhale, take it over to the left. Inhale, stay. Feel a big stretch. Even let the shoulder joint open here into the armpit. Exhale, back up through center. We'll remove the block and just put it aside. Bring the left foot down to the mat and extend the right leg out nice and long. We're going to turn the right toes out. And on an inhale, we'll open the leg over to the right. Exhale, we'll pull back in. Maybe put your left hand on your left hip to make sure you're not rocking at all. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, draw in. So this heel, you can continue to move, connects all the way up through the inner thigh to the groin and then up into the pelvic floor. And that's where we want to work from. Try 2 more times. We're opening up the hip, but the center is really controlled. Last time here, inhale to open, exhale to pull in, and then inhale, hug that right knee into your chest, and just release the hip before we go to the other side. Nice job. Place that right foot down. Now remember, you don't need to tuck the tail under when you do this. You can have a nice neutral flat pelvis. Let's exhale and stretch through the left heel and turn the toes out, turn the femur bone out. Hand on right hip. Inhale, sweep the leg over to the left. Exhale, draw it back in like you're dragging the heel through some sticky sand. Inhale, open up. Don't let that right side roll at all. Exhale, pull to center. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. Last 2. Inhale and exhale. Last one here. Inhale and exhale. Really fire up the abs and then draw that knee in. Give it a squeeze. Beautiful job. Okay, from here, we'll find the imprint once more and bring the legs back to tabletop. And we're just going to circle the ankles nice and slowly, really taking your time. It's more important that you find your full range of motion than it is that you hurry. After 3 circles in one direction, alternate the other way. And just hang on here so the low back is not compromised in any way. 1 more breath. Now we'll take the legs straight up to the ceiling. We'll bring the heels together and the toes apart. And we'll reach the arms up. Inhale here. If it's safe for your spine, curl your head up. And then lower everything to a little diagonal. Squeeze the heels, squeeze the inner thighs. Stretch through the fingertips, stretch through the toes. Breathe for 4 and 3 or 2. Last one, and hug those knees and return. Beautiful. Place the feet down on the mat nice and slowly and roll over onto your stomach. If you have a strap, it might be helpful to place it across the top of your mat. A green band works as well. All right, so we're going to set the shoulders wide. We're going to reach the legs to the corners of the mat as well, so we have a little X going on here. Good. We'll breathe out, lift the belly, draw the tail down. And then on the inhale, we'll lift the heart and lift the arms. Float up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, the heart stays down. This time the legs lift and we really stretch long through the toes. Exhale, reach them away and down. We'll keep alternating. So we'll inhale to lift the torso, leaving lots of space around the throat. Exhale, we'll lower. Inhale, we'll lift the legs. Nice. Exhale, we'll lower. One more time, alternating. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the legs. Exhale, lower. And if you're feeling up for it, let's lift all 4 points. Look down at your mat and really stretch out and away from you. See if you can draw the shoulder blades onto the spine so that you're not lifting up through the tops of the shoulders, but rather from wings. One more big breath in here. And then gently lower down. Beautiful. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, lift the belly up and back to child's pose. Feel free to use the blocks to help you here. Knees can be together or split. Just feel your way into the hips. Relax the neck, the head, the shoulders. One more big breath here. And then unwind the spine. All right, beautiful. We're gonna come onto all fours here. Sort of vigorously, we're gonna move through cat and cow. So think about this more as a wave that's attached to the breath than of really trying to control each vertebra. We're just gonna inhale, lift up, exhale, round in, inhale, lift up, exhale, round in. Move to your breath. And really let the breath sort of enliven you. Try one more time in each direction. Lovely. And then find neutral, a nice support neutral with the belly lifting up. Let's free up that left leg. We're gonna the toe and press into that back heel. And just think of elongating the whole leg. And then if you can, we're gonna lift that right arm forward and press through the heel of the hand. Look straight down, feel the belly fire a bit. One more breath, and then draw the hand back under the shoulder. Keep the left leg long, let the top of the right toes push into the mat and just hover that right knee. Lift it a little bit. Keep it connected to the belly, to the pelvic floor, and breathe. Almost like you're resisting the floor, but you're also resisting the hip lift. One more breath. And then gently release, return the knee. Beautiful, other side. So the right leg will stretch out. We'll press into the right heel. Make sure your hands stay under your shoulders. Breathe here. Square up those hips and then press through the heel of the left hand. Feel long across the sort of diagonal spiral line of the body. Stay for one more breath here. And then float the hand down. Keep the right leg long, push into the tops of the left toes and lift. Hover that knee. Breathe here for 4. Keep your neck nice and long. And 3. Here's 2. Last 1. Release and return. Sit back to child pose. Let's just get off the wrists for a moment. So if you have a block, you may or may not need this. We're gonna thread the needle. Some people have a hard time getting the head to the floor. If you do, a block is handy. All right, we're gonna have some fun with this. So here we are on table. I'm gonna stretch that right arm out, thread it through and under. So here's what I mean. If your head cannot reach the floor comfortably here, then a block can be your friend. Okay, so we're really on the back of the shoulder though, and we're opening the shoulder up. Good, now, as we balance on the right shoulder, we're gonna take that left leg way out to the side and then see if we can grab the leg with that bottom. And maybe we open up to the ceiling. Good, breathe here. Feel your heart opening over to the left. Of course, you're balancing here. You could end up on your back. So make sure you have a little space around you. One more big breath. And then bring the top hand down, release the bottom arm, and bring your leg back in line with your hip. Exhale, press your way and back to table. And maybe you want to do some little lateral bends here, just to get out of the hips again. All right. Other side. From here, set up in your table again. Left arm comes out. Hug the belly up as you thread it through. Stay for a breath. Good. Now we're going to take that right leg out to the side and see if we can grab it with the left hand. And then maybe open the right arm to the ceiling. Stay and breathe. Your neck shouldn't feel compromised in any way, but the top of your torso should be getting a really nice twist. So once again, shine your heart forward. One more breath here. And then top arm down, release the bottom arm, bring your leg back under your hip, and come on up and forward. I hope that was fun. All right, some hip circles here. Walk the hands slightly forward to the shoulders. We'll sweep into these big torso circles. And I'd like you to try to drop the hips forward so that you feel like you're in a plank prep. Nice and long. Gorgeous, just one or two more. The last one here. Beautiful. Now from here, let's shift the weight forward into that knee down plank. Hug the elbows back by the sides as we lower to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart to cobra. So you might be in a small cobra here. You might feel ready for more. Exhale, hug the belly up to child's pose. We'll flow through that 2 more times. So we inhale, we unwind the spine. We exhale, we hug the elbows in and lower with care to the mat. We inhale to lift the heart, collarbones forward, shine forward. Exhale, hug the belly, come back. One more time, inhale and unwind. Make sure you hit this plank. Exhale, hug the elbows in and lower with care. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, hug the belly, up and back. This time we'll add on. So we'll inhale, find that long shape. Exhale, control the landing. Inhale, lift the heart. Now this time we'll come up and back to downward facing dog. So exhale, hug the belly in as you lift your weight up and back. Good. Now from here, we're gonna see how the legs feel this morning. So feel free to pedal. Feel free to move in your downward dog. Doesn't need to be static. Good. One more breath here. Now make sure your weight is really back toward your legs and your tail is lifting high. Take your right arm and see if you can reach back and grab the outside of the left calf muscles and then turn to the left. Breathe. Feel the twisting of the spine and again, the heart shining forward. And then reach that arm back. Keep the weight up and back as you take the left arm across to the right calf muscles, turning to the left. One more breath here. And then back to center. Inhale high up on those toes and then exhale, unwind your way to high plank. We're gonna stay here for 1 breath and then we're gonna get off the wrists a little. So feel strong, breathe through it. And then drop the knees. Sweep your right up and back and come up to rise. Good, so here you are on the knees. Get my pillow out of the way. Bring those arms up and reach out of the waist. Now remember, you could do this with your arms behind your head because it really is about lateral movement. So don't get caught up in the arms. Enjoy the side bending. Or 3, or 2. Last one, beautiful. Now from here, we're gonna take this whole shape and tip over onto the left hand, bringing the foot down, right foot down. Inhale, we'll breathe up and over, enjoying that side stretch. Gorgeous, 1 breath here. And then turn your heart for the ceiling and open the chest as much as you can. Try to lift out of that left wrist. Gorgeous. Turn to the mat. So your hands come down. And come into full plank. Hold here. And then we're going to drop the right knee and come up and over here. Side bending should be the opposite side body. Feel the whole line from the fingers through the toes, and then open your heart toward the ceiling. One more breath. Come back through center. Inhale, rise up onto the knees. Exhale, step one foot forward and then the other, come into chair. Stay here and breathe. Now, I hope you have warmed your shoulders up sufficiently, but if you really have a hard time softening through the shoulders, then bring your arms behind you or just sort of angel wing arms. Draw that tail down. So we're going to hold here. A lot of our standing work today is going to consist of holding. So right now, I'd like you to feel into your feet. Make sure your leg feels connected and supported. And I'd like you to just pause and close your eyes and reflect on your feet with gratitude. How so much of our moving through the world happens from the ground up. How grateful we are for feet that help us balance, that give us mobility, movement in the world. Lift those toes if you can, and then bring them back to the mat one at a time. Big toe, second toe, middle toe, fourth toe, and pinky toe. One more breath. And then bring the hands to the thighs, tuck the tail and round. Spin those elbows open. Soften the chin toward the chest here. One more breath. And then press into the ground and rise and find your mountain pose. So this is a great place to really feel that heart shine. Of course, when we're thinking about gratitude, we're opening our heart. Let your chin dip down toward the heart just a bit. Invigorate the legs, lift up long out of the waist. And without arching your low back, open the top of the spine here. Close your eyes and hold for 3 more breaths. So it's great that we were thankful for the feet here. We're going to move on now. Practice a little gratitude for the legs. So as you're ready, open your gaze, look up, inhale, breathe up, sweep up, gaze up. Exhale, take your time coming forward. Really feel the flat back bow and then round. Stay here for a breath. You can bring your knuckles to the earth and really soften around your neck, your upper back, your shoulders. Let that chin breathe down toward the chest. Nice release here. On your next inhale, take your time once more, finding that flat back again, and it should feel like a heart opener, right? We sort of surrendered around the heart, over the legs. Now we present the heart forward as the spine elongates. Inhale here. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back, and breathe your arms up to crescent toe warrior. So we're gonna stay here for a bit again. So I want you to challenge yourself in the torso without compromising. So maybe bring your hands behind your neck. And again, we practiced this last week where the chin gets dipped down, but then the head presses back into the hands, and letting the heart lift. Now imagine a little energy between your inner thighs. And what that does is sort of draw the right femur back into the right hip and help you present the left hip forward for squareness. We're going to stay here and really breathe into the legs. Another chance to be grateful. Obviously, the feet and the legs are so connected. Such powerful muscles in the legs. Think of all the things that the legs help us do. They are our foundation often, not just for walking or running, but for carrying, for lifting, for serving others. One more breath here. Now release those hands and press the palms up to the ceiling and lean forward. Beautiful. Stay and breathe. Really lean forward. So now here we want to watch that the front leg doesn't roll in, and I'm hoping that your legs are getting a little tired. Sort of feeling into the strength we have here. Now from here, we're going to lift the chest, bring hands to the front thigh, bend the back knee, and set the back foot down. And if you need to wiggle that front foot forward even more, to come into lunge, do it. Gorgeous. Now here, we want to feel a little bit of lifting in that back leg. So hopefully after those holds, this is an enjoyable stretch. Gaze forward here. Hands are just relaxed and the neck is soft. One more big breath here. Gorgeous. And then we're going to walk our hands to the inside. So we're in a low lunge with both hands inside the right foot. Push your right elbow into your right leg and push your right leg into your right elbow and stretch your heart forward so your spine elongates. You could use blocks here as well if it's hard to reach the floor. One more big breath here. Gorgeous. Now we're going to frame that front foot, tuck the back, lift the back knee again. And we're going to press the weight forward into the front leg and lift the back leg for a standing split. So inhale here, exhale, float that leg up to the sky. Bring your gaze towards your knee. Blocks can be helpful here too. And it's very easy to turn the hip out. Try to keep yourself somewhat square. One more breath here. Trust that strong front leg. Maybe you can use your right hand to grab the right ankle. One more breath here, and then take your top leg, step it down to meet the front. Forward fold. Push into the feet. Unwind the spine. Come all the way up to mountain. Stay here and breathe. That's it. I'm going to turn around so you can see me from the other side. All right, from here, we're going to sit back into chair. Keep the belly lifted. Again, if you can, really challenge the back, right? So challenge the lats, the wings, stretch your pinkies forward. Notice the difference in your legs. And once more, think of gratitude for the feet. Inhale here. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, and step that left leg back. Nope, step your right leg back. You don't want to do the same side twice. Inhale, breathe your way up to crescent tone warrior. Hands behind the head. Dip the chin down, rest the head back, lift the heart. Good. Energy in the inner thighs, strong legs. This is a powerful pose. Yes, of course, it's balance. Try not to resist that front lunge. Get into it a little bit. Stay for one more big breath here. And then release the spine. Turn the palms up and lean forward. During this little lunge, we really want to be careful of alignment here. So knee over ankle, not rolling out or collapsing in. Reach that knee toward your middle toe, let's say. Keep the belly lifting away from the thighs. One more chance to close your eyes and pause. And maybe be grateful for everything that the legs help you do, the way they help you move through life. One more breath here. And then we'll fold over the leg, walk the hands a little further ahead, and lift that back leg for standing splits. This time you soften around the heart. Maybe your left hand comes to your left leg. Let the gaze be down and the toe be lifted. One more breath. And then step that foot forward. Forward fold. This time, let's spread the feet out a bit before we come back to that lunge and just enjoy a wide-legged forward fold. One more breath here. And then walk your hands forward to frame your front foot. Step it back, high plank. Hold for 3, feel your strength. Let your heart shine forward even here for 2. Last one. And then drop the knees, sweeping forward. Let's step that left foot forward and come into that low lunge. So enjoy this stretch. Let the hands come to the thighs so you can relax the torso. And again, a sense of lifting up and away from the right knee. And then if you wish, place both hands inside that front foot. Push that left elbow into the left leg. Push the left leg into the left elbow. Gaze slightly forward of your mat. Stay and breathe. Stretch the heart forward. You want a lot of spinal elongation here. Staying for one more breath. And then tuck those back toes, lift the back knee, bring the hands to frame the front foot, step forward, forward fold. We're gonna move through 3 sun salutations here now that we feel strong. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back rise. Reverse that swan dive. Gaze up. Exhale, pull forward and fold, bowing. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Chaturanga. We're going to try to hold it today. So if you need to drop your knees, drop your knees. Otherwise, shift forward, hover. And then lower to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Feel into this before you move on. Inhale, gaze up, make your way to the top of your mat. And step, hop, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ground down into the feet and the legs and rise. Gaze up. Little back bend. Exhale, let that back bend lead you to flat back fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back, high plank. So lower the knees or shift forward. Hug into the arms. Control the landing, inhale, lift. Exhale, up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze up at your thumbs. Exhale, float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhale, rise. You might want to get your blocks in your strap because we're going to come down to the mat again after this one. Have everything nearby as you inhale, lift. Exhale. Let that tail lead behind you over the legs. Fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant those hands and step back to high plank. Last time down. You can shift forward. You can hug it in. Control the landing. Inhale, lift. This time, exhale. Child pose. Be as relaxed as you can in child's pose. You need to prop a block up under your head or under your hips. Let your elbows drop to the mat. You can even fold your hands. Full surrender. Stay here for 3 breaths. You know, anytime we speak of gratitude, there's humility, I believe, connected to it, right? It's hard to have a grandiose ego and be grateful at the same time. So when we recognize beauty in the work of others, we can get out of ourselves, give thanks, and then hopefully that motivates us to serve others in turn. One more breath here. Okay. Come on up out of your child's pose. Let's sit up. If you have blocks or a pillow, I'd say sit up on them. And maybe have your strap nearby. We're gonna come into a little straddle, so nothing huge. And you wanna almost be a little forward of your blocks, so you're not tucking under. So if anything, your tail can stretch behind you and you find some length of spine. So we're gonna do flat back stretches over the legs. So a strap can come in very handy. So we're gonna take the whole torso, anchoring the hips, and turn to face that left leg. Now, some people might be able to keep a flat back and reach to the toe. So if you can, that's wonderful. For a lot of us, it's far away and we start to round. And that's where the strap or the band comes in handy, because you can pull that toe toward you, reach your heart toward the thigh, and keep long in the spine. I'm gonna stretch into the back of the leg. We're gonna really feel like we're not coming away from the grounding hip, the opposite hip. Stay for one more breath. Gorgeous. Come back through center, bring the legs front and stand on that right leg. And then if you can, lift and extend the left leg, lifting your heart as well. I don't want you to fall off your blocks, but you certainly could balance here with the left leg out. And you might fall. And release. Other side. So a little straddle. We're going to turn the heart. Now this side is, I don't have as much mobility in this side, so it's harder for me to stretch without rounding. So I definitely need the strap over here. Without locking the knee though, what we find when we keep the pelvis long and the spine long is usually we can stretch more into the belly of the muscle instead of behind the joint. So keep focusing on rotating as well as turning your ribs around toward that leg. One more breath. And then gently release. Bring the legs together. Make sure you're sort of toward the front of your pillow or your block. Stand on that left leg and extend the right leg to the ceiling. You could try to balance. Lift the heart, extend the leg, and then relax. Gorgeous. We're gonna come off anything we might be seated on. For a little bit of rolling, keep the blocks nearby. We're heading down to the mat already, which I cannot believe. Time flies when you're having fun. If you have a very long strap or a band, you may want to double it. We're going to practice some variation on open leg rocker. So you've got a lot of options here. Make sure you have space behind you. We're going to take the strap behind the thighs, not right behind the knees, but behind the thighs. We will tuck the tail under and come to the flat part of the sacrum. Now, if rolling is not for you, you may want to stay here and practice some leg extensions, really lifting the heart. If you can roll, we're going to practice rolling back and pausing, rolling up and pausing. So as we come behind ourselves, we lift the tailbone, we stretch the legs, we pause, and then we roll up and lift the heart. So pause here, should almost feel like plow. Pause at the top. You can extend the legs if you want for both. So you bend and roll, You extend and pause. Bend and roll, extend and pause. So move to your breath pace. Keep rolling or focusing on those feet flutters and remembering to respect the neck. So you need a lot of connection and a lot of lift in the belly. Try just one more time and then come up to sitting. Place your strap aside, bring the soles of your feet together with the palms up and very slowly roll to the mat with control. And stay for a breath in Supta Baddha Konasana. If you would love to pop blocks under your knees, that's great. Sometimes gravity is a little too much and sort of pulls the pelvis in funny ways, so the blocks are nice. If you can, reach your arms overhead and maybe grasp the wrists or the elbows. And just get heavy again here. Maybe close your eyes if you're willing. Let the breath return to you a little bit. We're going to try one nice hip stretch after this. But for right now, see if you can feel the area between your shoulder blades connecting to the mat. And imagine heart shining back and out through the back, down into the earth. Check in with the places where we so easily store stress, like the face, like the hips, like the shoulders and neck. And then let your breath get you out of your own way so that gravity can settle into the bones and elongate the muscles. One more breath here. And gently release. I'm going to try reclining cow face. It might also help you to have a block nearby. So we'll cross the right knee over the left. It's kind of a narrow cross. Tuck the tail under so that your low back is supported, and then bring the legs up in space. Now the goal is to reach the right hand to the left foot and the left hand to the right foot. And you may find, if you are tight, that this is difficult to do. I'm talking to myself. So I like having a block under my head. You could also have a block under your hips to sort of get the ground, or instead, I should say, get the ground a little closer to you so that you can start to stretch the outside of the right hip. So play with what works for you. If it really seems impossible to you, just crossing one leg over the other and hugging the right knee in as the left foot hovers might be enough to stretch the outside of the hip. But we'll stay here for 3 full rounds of breath. Once more, using the breath to allow us to soften into gravity instead of to fight against it. One more big breath here. And then gently release. Shake those legs out and long. Stretch your arms up overhead. Pull the toes toward your nose. Elongate the spine. You might feel a natural small arch in the low back, but don't force it. One more breath. Gorgeous. And then gently release, bringing the feet back to stand. So we'll practice left over right now. And again, if you like to block under the hips or the hands, under the, head, go for it. So right comes over left. We breathe the legs up into the air and we attempt to grab the ankles. Right hand grabs left ankle, left hand grabs right. And we breathe into the outside of the left hip. That's it. So our gluteal muscles are such powerhouses. I know they give me a lot of stability and a lot of strength, but they also get tight for me. These stretches are hard for me, but necessary. So I always need to find that balance between strength and flexibility, between work and softness, between effort and ease of mobility. Stay for one more breath here. And then start to gently release. If you have a block here and whether you'd like to use it or not, come into any final asana that speaks to you. Happy baby, I know, is always a fan favorite. You certainly could practice plow or shoulder stand. Supported bridge is lovely as well, or legs up the wall. Need any rotation. Just feel free to listen to your intuition. You know, our bodies send us these subtle messages all the time. It's very easy to ignore them or to get too busy to hear their whisperings. But I believe we not only store a lot in the tissues, but that the tissues can ask us for things, give us opportunities to tune in. I think we're rewarded if we listen. Stay for 2 more breaths in the final asana of your choosing before we come into rest. So rest could be many things. Rest could be Supta Baddha Konasana. It could be a more traditional corpse pose where you stretch your legs to the corners of the mat and you gather your shoulders underneath you, palms up, moving them a bit away from the hips, and feeling that openness around the heart once more. You could certainly come back to your supported fish as well. Might feel nice at the end of class with blocks or with a pillow, just to settle into that openness one more time, but with a real sense of ease here. In our restful shape, we certainly don't want to be overexerting. So of course you can stay for as little or as long as you like. I'll give 5 breaths worth of pause for you to breathe and quiet your mind.